Do you know Leonardo DiCaprio? No, this video is not necessarily about Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh man, I got a new pimple. Oh, great. It's about, those rich guys that end up with a random girl, usually young, very good looking, like Leo, and they go to this exotic location for a couple of days, and then you're probably never going to see that girl again. Well, not in relation to the guy who's taking the girl. Like Leo, for example, has been with multiple hot, very good looking young girls over the years, and they're all kind of coming and going random like that. One every 6 months-ish. Yeah. I mean, that would be nice, right? If you can afford it. I assume it's probably expensive. But again, this video is not necessarily about skincare or Leonardo DiCaprio. Right, so let's say that you're Leo, right? One of probably the best looking men on the entire planet. And how would you be going out with this girl? You're standing in line somewhere getting a cup of coffee. This particular very attractive young woman is there, and you just start a conversation with her. And all of a sudden you're dating her, or you don't even have time for that because I'm assuming you probably get more ass than a toilet seat. So you're just going to ask this girl after you get the coffee, because you are this very famous actor and because you're also incredibly good looking and very rich, hey, would you like to come with me to Saint-Tropez for about 5 days in this expensive hotel? And I'm sure I'll pay for the trip, no problem. And sure enough, you are now at the airport with this quite young, very attractive woman heading out to Saint-Tropez. It's just that you do this more often, right? With different random other women. Yeah, I don't think that's a very realistic scenario. And even if you are Leonardo DiCaprio or any other famous, incredibly good looking, super rich actor, I don't think a woman would randomly go out with you to some location. What I would probably think that's happening is that your manager or someone in your circle of confidence is providing these women for you. That would probably make more sense. And that would mean that these girls are escorts, right? I mean, no shocker. The crazy part is that an escort is definitely there to spend time with you. Let's say for about 5 nights at Saint-Tropez, because I mentioned Saint-Tropez, I don't know why. But, at some point she's going to have to engage in sexual activities with you. And what do you think that's going to happen? When will I be, let's say, willing to make love to this girl? Anytime, right? I'm paying for it. I have had access to her body, and she's an escort, so she knows that's the case. And we're probably just going to do whenever I feel like it, because I'm the one paying for it at any given moment. Well, probably I'm a nice guy, so I'll just, like once a day or something, I'll engage with her. And sure enough, she's going to accept me because I'm paying for it. Makes sense, right? But the discomfort in this point is really showing something a bit more real. If she never truly wants it because she's obligated to do it and only tolerates it because she's getting paid, how does that make it from a moral point of view? Am I raping her right then? She's not saying no, and she's probably done this a couple of other times. Maybe yes, maybe not. But she doesn't really want it. She just accepts it. And by accepts it is not even air quotes. She probably straight up just accepts it. Yeah, maybe I'm one of the best looking guys on the planet. Maybe I'm super famous and chicks want to be with famous guys. But I mean, she's an escort and she's there to just accept it. Okay, she's doing it for the money. That's fine for her, or maybe it's not fine. But what about me? I'm paying for it. How does that make me feel? Because I've never been with an escort. But I'm thinking, let's say I'm a billionaire. Let's say I'm a famous actor. Let's say I have, I don't know, many, many millions of dollars in a bank account. And I want one of these very attractive, beautiful women for myself on a trip to Saint-Tropez. Does that make me like a sleazebag? Am I a bad guy? Am I engaging in sexual activity, touching this woman and doing much more than just touching when she doesn't want it? It feels to me like I'm forcing myself on this woman. It feels to me like I'm raping her. Whoa. Legally, in most countries, prostitution or escorting is not automatically classified as rape if the person consents to the arrangement and it's free to leave or refuse sex. So I'm assuming even an escort can leave and can say no to sex at some point if she really, really doesn't agree with it, which is fine if she leaves, even though I just paid for it. I don't know exactly how that would work. Maybe I'll just accept it. The messed up part is if she does accept it, if she actually goes along with it. How can how can I have sex with this woman when I'm clearly paying for it? And again, she probably doesn't want it. And maybe I am famous. Maybe I am good looking. Let's pretend for a second that I'm good looking. And then let's pretend for a second that I'm an actor or whatever. But maybe she looks at me and she finds me gross. She finds that particular moment like, no, bro, like, I don't want this. But she's not going to say I don't want to. She's just going to bend over or spread her legs and just, if she wants to have sex with me, sure, let's do it. And I know this. But I keep doing it anyway. So I'm raping this woman, right? A person can consent to sex without being sexually attracted to the other person. Sure, people do this in many contexts. Arranged, dates, relationships, transactional dynamics, the way that sounds, transactional dynamics, survival situations. Let's say that you really need the money. Let's say that you need this to survive. And then you do this for a living, probably not for a living, but you do it from time to time because you are in survival mode. Let's say you have a child that you need to take care of and you're working 2 jobs already, and we all know how bad economy is. Like, I have a full-time job and I cannot afford rent. So there you have it. And let's say this woman is in survival mode, actual survival mode. So that would be the situation. In even emotionally disconnected hookups. This right now is not purely a question. It's more a philosophical, ethical question. It has probably less to do with the legality of it, for sure. So as long as it's not, if we can take away the legal part of it, I guess I'm not raping her. But like, what about the ethical part of it? And am I a piece of shit for paying to have sex with this woman? Because I kind of feel like I am. Not necessarily looking at Leo, because I'm assuming that Leo is probably not in this category, but some of these escorts around the globe, probably even in very high, circles of rich, powerful people, men, these women are being trafficked, which is an abuse, and that automatically, definitely becomes sexual assault, like sexual exploitation, and 100% is rape. The key issue here, the way I see it, like probably the main question, can consent exist under financial pressure? Is it financial pressure because I'm paying you and you really could use the money and you'll do anything? And if I pay really well, it's probably like, oh my God, this guy gives me a lot of money to come with him to Saint-Tropez. And yeah, he's probably going to have sex with me whenever he wants. But just because there's money involved, is that consent? Can I purchase consent? Can I pay for consent? I guess I could. Yeah. I mean, I could pay for consent. She is allowing me to do whatever I want with her body. Not whatever I want. Let's just say I'm not a psychopath and I'm probably going to be decent to this woman and just make love to her and not hurt her and probably even try to give her some pleasure. So I'm buying for the consent. But isn't it kind of creepy that you're just having sex with a woman because she's consenting to it? I mean, as a guy, let's say that I'm rich and I go to the gym a lot and I look really good and etc. I kind of want a girl to have lust for me, to want me. And I just don't want to put my hands on her again just because she's consenting to it. That just sounds, the word itself, consent, is so creepy, and for me it's a turnoff. How can you have sex with a woman and she's just accepting it, consenting for it? That's horrible. I don't know, man. That feels like it's horrible. Because money really changes the power dynamics. Money really changes the power dynamics in a lot of things. At work, we're not talking about sex, but usually money does change the power dynamics a lot. So check this out. Like, a wealthy client can definitely receive yes, while the escort emotionally and internally feels obligation, resignation, emotional shutdown, or survival-based compliance. Emotional shutdown, or like even survival-based compliance. You're complying because you can really use the money. And emotional shutdown, like you're having sex with this woman, this girl, this woman is having an emotional shutdown. That's what you want? To just use her body as you're masturbating? You're not masturbating by yourself. You're using her body to masturbate with, basically, because she's an emotional shutdown right now. And like, she's complying with it. She's just accepting it. What the fuck? Even employees tolerate degrading bosses because they need rent money, right? So again, just because the dynamics of the money, exist doesn't mean that it's a good thing. So not just for sex. We tolerate a lot of things and we dislike what we do for the money. And we kind of give our consent. We are there. We are putting up with the manual labor. We are putting up with a very bad job. We're doing a lot of stuff. We give consent, but coming back to sex, I feel like the dynamics really, really takes a very ugly turn here. But again, would you touch a woman? Because I wouldn't do it just because I'm paying her. I mean, she doesn't need to be enthusiastic about it. She just needs to say yes. She's in a very lovely place. I'm taking her to dinner. Maybe I'm taking her shopping. She doesn't need to love it. She doesn't need to fall in love with me. She just needs to spread her legs and accept me whenever I want to. That's all there is to it. And I am paying quite generously for it. The idea itself kind of just gives me the creeps. Probably, let's just get a couple of things straight here. Not every client needs to be a predator. Definitely not every single escort is a victim. But probably because money has that power to blur the line between choice and survival. I stumbled across this vlogger, Hitomi. I don't think that's how you pronounce her name. She's Japanese. And I was watching this video where she was talking about a little bit of sexual education, and she was remembering something from her past regarding the fact that she was in a relationship with this guy, and this guy had, he was engaging with her whenever he wanted, and she sort of accepted that for a while. And after a while, she sort of wised up about it, and she was like, listen, we need some boundaries. You can't just take my body and for me to give you my body whenever you feel like it. And that really started this other part of this video, moving away from escorts, but also staying in the line of consent. Let's say you're married and you're coming home, your wife's very tired, she's definitely not in the mood, long day, but you just got back from, let's say, having a couple of beers with the guys, and you're feeling very jolly, and all of a sudden you feel like having sex with your wife. And your wife is not going to say no to you, and if you want to have sex with her, she's just going to go for it. She's not enthusiastic. She's really not happy. She's probably feeling the complete opposite of whatever sexy feels like. She's probably feeling miserable. But hey, this is not the first time, and whatever. She knows this is probably going to take about 5 minutes. So if the husband wants to have sex, let's just get this over with. This kind of belongs to the idea of, it's not the first time, so habit, expectations. What does my husband expect from me? And my husband expects that he wants to have sex with me. That's just how it should be because he's my husband. So expectations, duty, sense of duty. I need to do my duty as a wife. Emotional compromise. And just in general, a bunch of unspoken roles. The role of the wife, the role of the man. The rooster comes home. He needs to get on top of the chicken. The chicken doesn't need to like it, but the rooster needs to do what the rooster needs to do. Basically unspoken roles in any relationship, not just in a marriage. Let's say you are with your girlfriend, long-term relationship. So these are not specifically yes-no moments, if you know what I mean. But, my examples can really go and sit in this gray philosophical area that people debate a lot about. I mean, the critical question when it comes to consent, since I deep dive into this anyways, does she feel free to refuse without fear, thinking that there's going to be some punishment involved, some guilt? Is she going to feel guilty, the fact that she didn't accept her husband or accept her boyfriend? Would there be any manipulation involved in all of this? Is he going to be able to manipulate her? What about emotional abandonment? Definitely anger, definitely frustration, emotional consequences that will come after that if she just says, whoa, I'm not going to have sex with you right now. Because consent is only, or otherwise consent is not just only, did she physically refuse, or more like, could she realistically choose otherwise? in a court of law, when it comes to, legislation and stuff like that, a judge or a lawyer would say, yes, she could definitely say no at any single point. You're not a slave. You're not someone's property. But like, realistically, could she has had an option? Did she had an option? Yes, a wife has an option. Yes, a girlfriend has an option. She definitely says no to her partner. But what about the above? What about the rest of the stuff that I just mentioned? So did she actually have a say in it or not? And this leads to a whole lot of other very interesting ideas. Something that Hitomi once said in probably her video or her videos was that, and I quote, I hope I get this quote right. She said, I don't feel comfortable being in a relationship where I am afraid of my partner, being afraid to say no to him and the consequences that arise from saying no. But I would argue, and this is for a completely different video, that lots of women stay in relationships with partners that they are indeed afraid of. Not afraid, I don't know, in that psychological way, like you're afraid of him all the time, but definitely a more powerful partner. Women hang out, they get married, they get in a relationship, they have boyfriends with men that they are afraid of, that they fear. The dangerous men, the men that can overpower you. And Hitomi said, I cannot be in a relationship with a man like that. But like what? She's 10% of the women out there, probably less. She's the smart one. She's the, I don't know, more cerebral one, where the rest of them are probably not. Another point, I'm using this as my microphone. Another point or another idea, I've been hanging around involuntarily around girls. I did high school at a majority girl high school. There were a couple of guys, but the rest of them were girls. And, along the years, I've been around circles of girls and women, young adults, young women talking about their boyfriends or whatever. And you always have that one girl that likes to brag, that likes to show off in front of the other girls. The one that keeps saying that, my boyfriend, wow, really gave it to me last night. Yeah, my boyfriend, we have sex all the time. I'm hot and my boyfriend really likes to take me whenever he feels like it. And yeah, I'm doing my duty. There's always that girl. I don't know if you've ever been around women when they talk and stuff like that, but I found myself multiple times being around girls. And in those circles, there's always, I feel, the one that likes to show off, the big mouth, the slutty one, or I don't know, how would you like to call it? Maybe not slutty, is just might not be the appropriate word, but the one that likes to show off in front of the other girls that she's hot and her boyfriend desires her body a lot because, she is able or capable of turning her boyfriend on. And sure enough, the boyfriend has access to her body sexually or otherwise whenever he wants to. And she feels proud about it, and she feels like she's a good wife or a good girlfriend. So there's definitely women out there that, even if they're not feeling it, or even if they don't want it, in their messed up head, if I could say messed up, they feel like it's an obligation, and it's something that has to do with pride. Yeah, my husband likes to have sex with me all the time. If he wouldn't want to do that, he'll probably find another woman. So that means that I would lose him. I will get to some sort of compromise. Which is crazy. It's crazy that women think like that. Oh my God. And not like women, like all women, but I've definitely heard and seen and known women that are exactly like that, girls that are exactly like that. Modern sexuality often confuses being desired with being fulfilled. These women want to be desired, but they're not being fulfilled. And sure enough, I don't think they understand that it's their right to be fulfilled. Being wanted, it's much more safer than being honest. Honest might not put her in safety, but being wanted creates a safe space for her. And she wants to be wanted, wants to be wanted. Maybe she wants to, some women do want that, or if they are wanted, I guess it's safe. He's not going to have sex with another girl. He's constantly coming to me. And if it's about a husband, it's safer to be wanted than having her reject him probably multiple times, endangering the marriage itself. Maybe he wants to get a divorce after that, endangering her safety, and not just physically, but, you know, maybe he's the one that brings a lot of money into the marriage, into the house. So she's endangering a lot of things. Being wanted by a woman is so much more safer, isn't it? And women find that it's their job to be wanted so they can feel safe.
Previously on the Testaments.
They let me decide. I chose Garth. Congratulations. Does your pearl girl always have to sit with us? She's my friend.
I told you, I don't want to marry anyone. I want to jump off a cliff. Becca?
Hi.
What happened?
He can't hurt you anymore.
Becca? What did you do?
It's divine justice.